There are things we cannot touch with our hands, but we can touch them with our hearts. Welcome to Touch, a sanctuary where simple stories, profound lessons, and meaningful life philosophies are gently shared. Each video is like a delicate piece of a puzzle, inviting you to pause, to listen, and to feel. And today, we begin a special journey to uncover the timeless allure of a woman with depth, spreading love and planting seeds of beauty in every soul. There are women who, from the very first encounter, make us pause and observe for a long time. Not because they possess dazzling beauty, nor because they stand out too brightly in a crowd, but because something within them radiates a quiet uniqueness, a calmness, a depth that is hard to grasp, a beauty that shines from within. A woman with depth does not need to say much to leave an impression, nor does she need to flaunt herself with glamorous appearances to be acknowledged. In her, everything seems slower, quieter, yet carries a strength that spreads with quiet persistence. She captivates through the way she faces life, with serenity, with silent observation, and with a heart shaped by experience. I once met such a woman. She ran a small tea stall on the corner of the street. No one knew exactly what she had been through, only that her husband had passed away early, her children worked far away, and she lived alone in an old house. And yet, whenever a guest stopped by, she welcomed them with a gentle smile and a fragrant cup of tea. People came and went, sometimes only sitting for a few minutes, but everyone left feeling lighter in their hearts. She rarely spoke much, mostly just listened and nodded softly. And yet, that very silence made people feel as if their burdens had been lifted. Calmness is not silence born of fear. Calmness is not weakness or submission in the face of hardship. On the contrary, it is an expression of strength, determination, and self-mastery. A calm woman is someone who can maintain her composure even when surrounded by storms. She is like a clear, still lake. No matter how strong the wind blows, it only stirs ripples on the surface, while the depths remain tranquil and undisturbed. In today's world, where people so easily lose their temper under pressure, competition, or conflict, calmness has become all the more precious. A calm woman does not rush to retaliate, does not lose herself in anger, nor panic in times of crisis. Instead, she chooses to take a deep breath, to listen to herself, and to make decisions slowly but surely. That very calmness saves her from impulsive mistakes and keeps her life on a steady path. A woman with depth does not waste words on meaningless arguments. She knows there are moments when words cannot solve a problem. Indeed, the more one argues, the more tangled everything becomes. Instead of insisting on proving herself right, she chooses to observe in order to understand others, to listen, to draw lessons. And in that observation, she is not weak. On the contrary, she becomes sharper and more discerning. She knows that some truths need not be shouted to be real. What is true will be proven in time. What is not meant to be, no matter how forced, will never last. And so, she preserves her peace, refusing to be swept away by life's noise and chaos. I recall another moment. One rainy afternoon, a young girl stepped into the old woman's tea stall, sobbing because she had just broken up with her lover. The old woman did not rush to comfort her, nor did she offer advice right away. She simply poured another cup of tea, placed it before the girl, and sat silently. After a while, she gently said, "My dear, some people come into our lives only to teach us a lesson, not to stay forever. When you know how to let go, your heart will feel lighter." That simple sentence left the young girl speechless. Perhaps that is the power of a seasoned woman. Not loud, not flashy, but every word she speaks is soaked in experience and peace. One of the clearest signs of depth in a woman is the ability to stop at the right moment. Not everyone has the courage to walk away when they are no longer valued. But a woman who is calm and seasoned by life chooses another way. She does not cry, does not beg, does not make herself small before anyone. When she realizes respect has disappeared, she quietly steps back, for she understands that a relationship is only truly beautiful when both people cherish each other. A woman with depth never accepts less than what she truly deserves. This is not arrogance, it is self-respect. She understands that if she herself does not honor her own worth, she cannot expect anyone else to do it for her. Calmness does not come naturally. It is the result of a long journey of trials and challenges. She has known loss, she has cried, she has suffered, she has felt as though the whole world turned against her. But instead of collapsing, she learned to rise, to accept, and to let go. There are beauties that are fleeting, brilliant but quick to fade, and then there are beauties that endure, not born of appearance, but of the soul. A woman with depth is like a late-blooming flower. At first, she may not overwhelm anyone with brilliance, but the more time you spend with her, the more you are drawn to her tranquility, her serenity, and her wisdom. She knows clearly. In her eyes rests composure. In her heart lies a sky of peace. And it is this serenity that sets her apart, that makes her truly captivating. A beauty that does not clamor for attention, yet can never be dimmed. There is a kind of woman who becomes more captivating the longer you look at her, not because she flaunts herself, nor because she deliberately seeks attention, but because she carries within her a very different kind of energy, a quiet strength, a vast inner peace, and a beauty nurtured from within rather than from external glitter and glamour. Such women are often those who have lived through much. They have experienced enough ups and downs to understand that life does not need to be loud in order to be radiant. They choose a quieter way of living, focusing on their own growth instead of racing against the world. And it is this serenity that becomes a gentle yet enduring light, making them stand out naturally in life. People often assume that women must be protected, that they need someone to lean on. But there are women who, after facing many storms, have learned to stand firmly on their own feet. They no longer depend on the validation of others, nor do they need anyone to define their worth. This inner strength does not come from appearance or bold words, but from a long journey of overcoming themselves. They have known pain, they have known loss, but instead of letting those wounds break them, they use them to forge resilience. That is what creates a lasting strength, the kind that only those who have stumbled and risen again can possess. A woman with inner strength is not easily defeated. She knows that life will always bring challenges, but instead of panicking, she faces them calmly. She is like an ancient tree standing tall in the storm, swaying violently perhaps, but her roots remain firm and unshakable. If inner strength is the power that allows a woman to stand tall, then peace is the gift that allows her to live fully. Peace is not about avoiding storms, but about keeping her soul steady amidst the turbulence. A seasoned woman understands that happiness is not found in owning more, but in knowing contentment, in letting go, in finding satisfaction with what she has. She no longer compares or competes, no longer seeks approval from others. She lives peacefully, loves peacefully, and accepts peacefully that some things will come and go as a natural part of life. In her eyes, one can easily see a rare tranquility, like a clear lake reflecting the moon. It is this very stillness that makes others feel safe, drawn to her, and eager to share. In today's society, where so many chase after attention, the spotlight, and fleeting praise, the woman with inner strength and peace chooses a different path. She does not need to be the center of attention. She does not need everyone to turn their heads toward her. Yet, through her calmness and depth, she leaves an impression far longer lasting than any temporary glow. There are women who, even while sitting quietly in a crowded room, make us turn our heads without realizing it. not because they flaunt themselves, but because their presence alone is enough to shine. That is the mysterious allure of peace, a beauty that cannot be imitated or borrowed. One of the most attractive traits of a woman with inner strength is that she knows exactly what truly matters: self-growth. She understands that the attention of others is fleeting, but her true value is what lasts. Therefore, she does not waste her time chasing after glances or compliments. Instead, she spends her time learning, cultivating herself, and becoming better day by day. This focus makes her a stronger, wiser version of herself. And then, paradoxically, the less she seeks attention, the more attention she receives. The less she tries to shine, the brighter her inner light becomes. That is the most lasting kind of allure, the kind that does not come from youth, from makeup, or from dresses, but from inner strength and peace. And then we realize, it is this serenity that makes her truly different. A difference that does not need noise, does not need proof, yet remains unforgettable. There are beauties that shine only for a moment, but there are also beauties that last a lifetime. The beauty of a woman with inner strength and peace belongs to the latter. She is like a small candle in the night, not dazzling, but warm enough to comfort a soul. She is like a spring flowing through the forest, not noisy, but enduring, nourishing life. And that is why a woman who has experienced life, who understands, who carries peace within her heart, will forever be the embodiment of the most enduring allure. There are beauties that are fleeting, radiant yet quick to fade. They are the beauties of youth, of makeup and glitter, of things that captivate others only for a passing moment. But there are also beauties that endure, those not found in appearances, but in the depth of the soul. That is the kind of beauty strong enough to stay with us for a lifetime. The kind of beauty that, once touched, can never be forgotten. A woman with depth does not need expensive clothes or sparkling jewelry to stand out. Her beauty radiates from her composed gaze, her warm voice, and the kindness in the way she treats others. It is a beauty that time cannot erase. On the contrary, it grows more luminous with every passing year. A woman with depth is like a late-blooming flower. At first, she may not overwhelm anyone with brilliance, nor capture attention instantly. But the more you spend time with her, the more you listen, the more you walk beside her, the more you are drawn in by her serenity, her calmness, and her life-worn wisdom. She does not struggle to prove herself different. She shines in her own quiet, natural way, yet still makes it impossible for others to look away. She is like a low, steady melody, seemingly simple at first, but the more you hear it, the more it moves you, and the more it lingers in your heart. I once met an elderly mother in the countryside. Her whole life was bound to the fields. Her husband had passed away early, and her son had left to work in the city, rarely returning home. For years she labored alone, saving every penny to raise him. Someone once asked her, "Do you feel sad that your son seldom visits?" She simply smiled and replied, "Children grow up, and everyone must live their own life. As long as he lives decently, that is enough. As for me, being sad changes nothing, so why not choose peace instead?" Her words left me speechless. Behind that gentle smile was a lifetime of acceptance and letting go. She did not complain, she did not resent, she did not cling. And it was precisely this calmness that made her extraordinarily beautiful. On the other hand, I once witnessed the story of a young woman. She loved a man deeply, but that love grew heavy once she realized she was not truly cherished. He was indifferent, careless, taking her devotion for granted. There was a time when she held on, afraid of loneliness, but one day she let go. She said, if someone truly wanted to stay, they would have stayed long ago. Holding on to someone who doesn't value you is only a way of hurting yourself. From that day forward, she focused on herself, learning, growing, and living for her own sake. And unexpectedly, when she no longer sought attention, she became more radiant than ever. Her friends and colleagues noticed the change. She was different, confident, calm, and full of life. That story showed me that inner strength and peace are not only for those who have lived an entire lifetime. Even the young, when they learn to love themselves in the right way, can embody this enduring beauty. In the eyes of such women lies composure, in their smiles lies compassion, and in their hearts lies a vast sky of peace. This is what sets them apart, what makes them uniquely captivating, not loud, not blinding, but unforgettable. A woman with depth, with experience, who knows how to love and how to let go at the right time, she is the embodiment of the most enduring beauty. A beauty that does not come from youth or outward appearance, but from maturity and serenity of the soul. They are like a small candle in the night, not dazzling, but warm enough to comfort a weary heart. They are like a stream in the forest, not noisy, but steady, nourishing all life around it. There are beauties that overwhelm us for only a moment, but there are also beauties that stay with us forever. The beauty of a woman with inner strength and peace belongs to the latter. And that is why a woman who has lived, who understands, who carries peace in her heart, will forever remain the symbol of the most enduring allure. And the last thing I want to say is, if this video touches your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to spread love to many more people.